Welcome back to, what's my channel name? Shutter. Welcome back to the Shutter channel. I took a bit of a months-long hiatus for no reason, other than I had nothing to film. But I'm back and better than ever with a what's in my bag YouTube video. So obviously I'm a filmmaker, I'm a photographer, so my bag is definitely geared towards that. I have a lot of creative tools in there that allow me to kind of whip out and start shooting wherever I am. But I'm also a bit of a tech nerd, so I have a whole bunch of unique tech in there that I thought might be cool to share with you guys. This is unscripted. I don't know what I'm doing here. I just set up 3 cameras and hit record. So here we go. So starting with the actual bag, this is the Peak Design Everyday Sling 6 litre in the ash color. I like this one, even though it's the hardest one to find because it's a nice in-between between the 3 litre and the 10 litre sizes. As you can see, it's pretty rugged. It's got waterproof zippers, so none of your gear gets damaged in the rain. It's got an adjustable strap, so you can change it to whatever height you like. And a load of compartments and space on the inside for all kinds of camera gear. In terms of size, this is it compared to a 16-inch MacBook Pro. You can fit like an 11-inch iPad in here or an iPad Air, but we'll get to the tablet compartment later. So in this front pocket here are all the cables that I carry around on an everyday basis. Some of them are a little weird, but I do find all of them useful in some kind of way. Starting off, we've got 2 USB-C to C cables. This one here is rated for USB 3.0 speeds and it's a nice short cable. This one here is a bit more special. It's a USB 4 rated cable from Satchel, and this one's actually braided as well. It does 100-watt charging for a MacBook. It can charge your phone. It can connect to a 5K display. It can be used for external hard drives. Basically anything USB-C can use this cable, whereas this one I kind of reserve just a bit more for data transfer and plugging in external SSDs. Next up, I carry an HDMI to HDMI cable. This is just the 1 meter one from Belkin. It's more useful than you might think to carry an HDMI cable in everyday life. This is just a USB-C to A 3.0 cable. Nothing special, pretty boring. This one here is a bit weirder. This is an Apple USB-A to 30-pin cable, and they don't actually make anything with this connector anymore, and they haven't done for quite some time. However, I do actually use iPods in my everyday life, and so it's great to have this to sync and charge them on the go. This here is a tiny 20-centimeter Lightning to USB-C cable. And what I like about this cable is, while I don't have many Lightning devices left, my AirPods are still the old generation AirPod Pros, so this is nice to be able to charge them on the go. I then have 2 USB-C adapters, so this is USB-C to HDMI, and this is a USB-C to Ethernet adapter, because you just never know when Wi-Fi is not going to be available, and you're going to need to plug in your computer or phone into a hardline internet source. Moving on to the last cable on our list, this is a multi-cable adapter, and inside here it kind of suits any occasion. So it comes as a C2C coiled cable, which you can then adapt to the not very commonly used anymore, micro USB, USB-A, and Lightning. Do I need this many cables? Yes. Yes, I do. Now moving on to the internal contents of the bag, I'll open it up here and we'll start off with this top compartment up here. Up here I've got a USB-C to SD card adapter. So this adapter does have SD card and micro SD, and I use this basically every day to transfer photos, videos, anything like that. It's the first thing I reach for. I also then carry a spare SD card. This is a 256 gigs, 200 megabytes per second card, which makes it fast enough for basically anything I would need to do, and always have a backup in my bag just in case something goes wrong. We now have a couple of audio adapters. So we've got Lightning to 3.5 and USB-C to 3.5. These aren't that useful, I will admit, but they take up little to no space in my bag, and so it's always better to have them than not have them. Next up, I've got my AirPod Pros. These are the first generation, so they're pretty old now and the battery doesn't last that long. I kind of hate using them, but they're good in the worst case scenario, and they're great for picking up phone calls while I'm out and about. Next up is an iPod of choice, which is a bit more unique and one of the more special items in my everyday bag. So right now I'm rocking the iPod mini. Now this one has been modded with 128 gigs of flash storage, a new battery, and a Taptic engine out of an iPhone 7. Which gives it a bit more of a tactile feel. I also sometimes use this iPod, which is the iPod Classic 7th generation. This one has also been modded with 256 gigs of flash storage and a Taptic engine and a massive battery that makes it last over a month. But I do find that these give me better battery life and I don't have to use my phone to stream music over Apple Music or over cellular. And if you guys are interested, I can kind of do a bit of a deep dive into why I love these iPods and why I love using them in my everyday life. These are the KZ ZSN Pro X's. Now these are in-ear monitors. They sound absolutely fantastic and they only cost about 35 Australian dollars. I can't recommend these enough, and if you're using them with an iPod or with a high-res audio track on your phone, It can't get better than this for the price. The last thing up in this top compartment, which I think is noteworthy, is I do have an air tag in here because it helps me track my bag. In the tablet compartment, I do actually carry a Kindle Paperwhite. This is such an awesome device. I actually think this is the only electronic device that has been perfected. The battery lasts months without me having to charge it. I can read whenever I want. I can whip it out at nighttime with the built-in backlight, or it's waterproof. This is just such a great thing to carry every day. Can't recommend it enough. Really great device. I've got 2 lip balms, and I actually took a third one out of my bag earlier, so I guess I keep adding in lip balms and keep forgetting. As well as a Sharpie. I used to carry a biro pen, and it actually drew on the inside of the bag and leaked a little bit. Moving on to this compartment here, I have a couple of unique items. The first one is this calculator slash notepad device, which I found in Japan for $5. It comes with this stylus on the back that you can just pull out and use to draw on this notepad here. And then as soon as you're done, you just press this delete button and it erases whatever you've drawn. I love this for shopping lists, for making, lists on the go or quick notes. The calculator is also great when you don't want to pull out your phone or when you need to do multiple calculations at the same time. It seems like this wouldn't be this useful because of, smartphones, but I love having a dedicated device for this. The other thing that I carry in this compartment, which is pretty unique, is a pink Nintendo DSi. So I bought this in Japan and modded it with every game I can think of, and I can just kind of whip this out and play some Mario Kart whenever I feel like it. The battery lasts basically forever. I never need to charge this thing, and it's just a great console and a fun time on the go. Next up is my wallet. Nothing special, but I do also carry an air tag in this, just in case this gets lost or stolen. It's saved me a couple times where I've left it at a bar and had to go back and get it because my phone reminded me. So air tags, 100% worth it. Actually, the other cool thing in here is I do have an NFC tag that when tapped to any phone will bring up my website. The other great thing that I have in here is my credit card. This does have a $6,000 limit, so go nuts. There you go. The only other thing in this compartment is a 30-watt USB-C charger. This is an A-Logic one, and it's absolutely tiny. I love this thing. It can charge a MacBook Air, it can charge an iPad Pro, it can even charge a MacBook Pro if it's not in use. This is the absolute perfect everyday charger. Now, before I get onto the camera, which I do have a whole other YouTube video about, in this compartment, I carry a 2 terabyte Samsung T7 SSD drive. This thing is my bread and butter. I carry it with me everywhere. I put everything on this. I cannot stress enough how important this is to my workflow in everyday life, and I can't recommend one enough to anyone who does any kind of creative work. Buy one, buy 2. If they're on sale, buy 5, I don't care. Now, onto the last item. This is my tried and tested Fujifilm X Pro 2. I love this camera. I have a whole YouTube video dedicated to this camera and why it's awesome, but it takes great photos. Just the other day, I used this to take photos of a concert, which I wasn't expecting to take photos of. I just whipped it out, took a couple pics, and they turned out great. I can't recommend this camera enough, or any Fujifilm camera if you're looking for an everyday shooter. If you're interested and you want to see more about that camera, check out my other YouTube video that I made. That goes a lot more in depth and gives you a lot more examples so you can see the kind of image quality you'd expect. And that's about it. That is my everyday carry bag in September 2024. I think it's great. I've basically got it down to a point where I've nailed it and I have in there exactly what works for me every day. I feel like I use all of those items on an everyday basis, or close to anyway, and I'm equipped to take on whatever creative project I need to. I'd love to hear what you guys carry in your everyday bags, so drop a comment down below and let me know. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Luca, are you gonna comment down below what you keep in your everyday bag?
Yes. I'm not paid to say this.
Good.